The top star texted me, "I like you. Will you be my girlfriend?" I didn't see it. An hour later, he followed up, "I give up. My kid brother grabbed my phone and sent that by accident. Don't get the wrong idea. Seriously, don't. We're still friends, right? And could you not tell anyone?" Early the next morning, I stared at the trending list in silence. I woke up, unlocked my phone, and the sky had already fallen. Through sleep, blurred eyes, I saw a dozen missed calls from my agent, and shot upright like I'd been jolted back to life. I ransacked my brain for anything I'd done lately. Couldn't think of a single thing that deserved a barrage like that. Before calling back, I checked the trending page. Nothing about me, but Jason was on several hot searches in a row. That's when I noticed a dozen unread messages from him on WeChat. I switched over, opened them, and my world imploded. At 10 p.m. Last night he'd sent, "I like you. Will you be my girlfriend?" For once, I'd gone to bed early and missed it. An hour later he sent, "I give up. My brother took my phone and hit send by mistake. Don't misunderstand. Seriously, don't. We're still friends, right? Could you please not tell anyone?" Every word, every line, was his pride packed tight. And because I went to bed early, I missed the whole spectacle. Heartbroken, Jason had meant to vent quietly on his alt on Weibo, but he was too upset and accidentally posted it on his main. He promptly shot to the top of the trends, Jason the Clown. Wildest in Gotham, a joker among jokers. Front foot, "Please don't tell anyone." Back foot, posted to his main. Backbone of Joker, biggest bet in the deck. McDonald's mascot, Gotham's kingpin. Some are here for the drama, some are looking in the mirror. Strangers' failures warm the heart. Jason's failure will keep me warm for life. Guess why I can't even laugh? The sky is blue, and there are paper cranes outside my window. I was in awe of their literary flair and shivering. Thank God in his contacts he'd labeled me with a heart, so everyone only knew he'd struck out. No one knew it was me. Well, except my agent, Emily. My profile photo is a landscape I shot myself. She recognized it in a heartbeat. After she confirmed over the phone that I'd never posted that photo publicly, she finally exhaled. She relaxed. I didn't. With Jason dumping all that out there, I had no idea how to reply. After agonizing forever, I decided to explain and got hit with a glaring red exclamation mark. "Oh, so that's how we're playing it." Jason even posted on Weibo. I deleted her so she can never break my heart again. Like, how did he spin all that by himself? At this point, the only people more panicked than Jason might be Jason's team. I could already picture it. If I'd pulled this stunt, Emily would have let out an ear-splitting screech on the spot. The topic sat on the trending list all day, and by dusk it finally cooled a little. Just as I was about to breathe, a starlet who'd worked with Jason before Jennifer popped up with a post. No caption, just a landscape photo. And unless you looked closely, it was almost identical to my profile pic. The bystanders started guessing she was the one he'd confessed to. Jason's fans went ballistic online. Posting this now. How is that not clout chasing? Even if it was you, you already turned him down. What's the point of posting now? What is this? Brainless clout chasing. What does one photo prove? My phone's full of landscapes like that. Maybe Jason's in love with me. It was a total bloodbath in the comments. Maybe seeing the backlash turn, Jennifer hurriedly deleted the post, and the real protagonist me stayed out of it, shamelessly eating popcorn. With the heat still rising, Jason's team paid big money to pull the topic off the trending list. By now, logic said it would fade in a few days. The killer was, the very next day, I had to tape a variety show with Jason. My heart sank to the floor. From the moment we got in the car to the moment we got out, Emily was drilling me. Avoid Jason. Ideally, don't even make eye contact. I opened the door and immediately locked eyes with Jason's sunglasses on, face tight, mood written all over him. I couldn't see his eyes under the shades, but I could feel his mood drop another notch when he saw me. He looked away first, and sped up toward the entrance, only to be walled in by fans. I meant to keep my distance and follow behind, but the crowd pushed me right up beside him. I had to smile and say hello. "Jason, long time no see." He turned his head awkwardly, refusing to look at me, and muttered, We finally made it into the studio. And Jason picked up the pace like he was afraid I'd catch up, like he'd seen a ghost. Watching him flee, Emily sighed. Who'd have thought a guy who looks like he was born to date would get tied up in knots over love? Looks like he was born to date is a niche compliment. Then she glanced at me. I am curious. Though why'd you turn him down? Can I even say? I was asleep. By the time I woke up, he'd already written the whole melodrama in his head and didn't leave me any room to perform. Right before filming, I stepped out of the restroom and heard a familiar voice next door. I edged closer. It was Jason talking to his manager. "For the love of God, kid, do you have to wear sunglasses on stage? People will say you're being a diva. Haven't you trended enough?" Jason sounded irritated. "My eyes are this swollen. If I don't wear shades, what happens to my image? That's what you get for crying all night. So your confession failed, big deal." Jason bristled. "How is it not a big deal? She's here today. Don't I need a little dignity? It's bad enough I struck out. If she finds out I cried, that's even worse." Well, he could skip the sunglasses now, because I'd just heard every word. My brain flashed an image of Jason in the middle of the night, eyes red, crying over our chat log. I hate to admit it, but it's way more attractive than his usual cocky, tough guy persona. In the end, Jason didn't wear the shades. He just dabbed on some concealer. Maybe because of what I'd overheard, I spotted the puffiness in his eyes at a glance. On stage, he kept deliberately dodging my gaze. The few times our eyes met by accident, he panicked and looked away. It was the definition of guilty denial. The whole premise of this show was having guests debate viral couples' stories or chat logs live on air. The topics were always bold, which kept ratings high. I knew they liked to push the envelope, but I didn't think they'd push it this far. Right off the bat, they threw up Jason's confession from last night. They even pretended to cover it up by slapping mosaics over the profile photos. The guests looked at each other in silence. Not one dared to speak. The host, clearly expecting this, went straight for the jugular and called on the man himself. He was asked what the girl in the story might have been thinking. Great, now everyone was suddenly speculating about my mind. Jason cast a bitter look at the chat log, stubbornly avoiding me. With a hint of dejection, he said, "What could she be thinking? She just doesn't like me, that's all." And what was with that face? Like he'd been chewed up and spit out by some heartless girl. Once the victim himself said that, the other guests started chiming in. But every time someone gave an opinion, Jason shot it down. Maybe she was playing hard to get. No way. She's not like that. Clearly she thought he was a clown. Absolutely not. She's too kind for that. I'd say she just enjoyed being chased. Nonsense. She'd never do that. The more I listened, the more embarrassed I got. The more others listened, the more exasperated they looked. Meanwhile, the live stream comments were exploding. "Jason, bro, don't love too hard. Just drop your ID number already, man. She hasn't even said a word and you're throwing out ultimates. I'm dying here. He's shattered and still defending her. Please, send Jason to the show next door, called Rescuing Love Brain. This one's not for him." After everyone else had their say, the host's gaze landed squarely on me. I instinctively glanced at Jason. He looked tense. I said slowly, "Ever consider maybe she just fell asleep and didn't see it?" Gasps all around. "No way. Impossible. That's too far-fetched." I don't buy it. Not a single soul on stage or in the comments believed me, except Jason. He slowly raised his head and looked straight at me, his voice carrying a note of hope. "Is that true?" Of course it was. After all, that girl was me. The comments erupted in frustration at his gullibility. God help us. Can someone shake this man awake? He believes that. Never thought I'd see Jason and my love-struck bestie in the same category. Got it, my bestie love brain. Jason love brain. Therefore, my bestie Jason. Equation solved. I can't even imagine if the girl he confessed to also said she fell asleep. He'd probably beg to add her back on WeChat and apologize for half an hour. Honestly, Jason should just re-add her and ask directly. The host caught that last comment and suddenly lit up with an idea. How about this, Jason? Why don't you add her back right now and see if she replies? At this point, did the mosaics even matter anymore? I could already tell you the answer. She wouldn't. Because that girl was sitting right there on stage, eating popcorn. Jason didn't even hesitate. She's busy right now. Probably won't see it. The host pressed on. Then why not just give her a call and clear things up? My nerves shot through the roof. Hold up. Was this segment designed to torture Jason? Or me? Jason went quiet for a few seconds, then said, a little forlornly, I don't have her number. Even her WeChat, I had to ask a lot of people before I got it. Just sitting there, saying that with that expression. He looked like he was about to crumble. Hearing that, I suddenly felt like I'd committed some unspeakable crime. The host fell silent too, a flicker of pity on his face. I spent the rest of the recording squirming in my seat like I was on pins and needles. When it finally wrapped, I packed up fast to leave, only to find Jason waiting at the door. The moment he saw me, he pressed his lips together and asked hoarsely, Was it true you were asleep? When I didn't answer, he quickly added, Of course. If not, that's fine. If you just didn't feel like replying, that's fine. Or if you just don't like me, that's fine too. I'm just asking, that's all. Really, just asking. Watching him scramble to soften the blow almost made me laugh. Is it really fine? He glanced at me, lowered his head and muttered, wounded. It's not fine. It matters. It matters a lot. The way he hung his head, I thought he might cry. No wonder fans always say his crying scenes feel so raw. Today I finally saw it firsthand. It's true, I really did fall asleep. I figured it had to be cleared up eventually, might as well be now. Jason's head shot up, eyes shining with joy. He was about to say something when his manager swooped in and dragged him off. As he got hauled away, she scolded him mercilessly. Jason, are you serious? Not even 2 minutes off stage and you're already running over to her. Do you really need her to spell it out for you before you'll give up? Jason had tried to shake free, but when he saw Emily grab me and pull me away too, he gave up struggling. He didn't hear a word his manager said anyway. She's not that cold-hearted. She just fell asleep. I knew she wouldn't be that rude. I was just too sensitive. His voice dropped lower. I really regret deleting her WeChat. Now I'll have to go through all that trouble to add her again. I really don't know how to treasure things. Hearing that last line, I couldn't help the smile tugging at my lips. Emily caught it and frowned. Didn't I tell you to stay away from Jason? I can control myself. I can't control Jason. She nagged me all the way to the car, and for a moment I felt like Jason and I were modern-day star-crossed lovers' mutual feelings, forcibly torn apart. The second that thought hit me, I cursed myself out in my head. This was what I got for reading too many fan pairings now I'd paired myself up. Still, because of what Jason said, I kept wondering during every free moment how he'd managed to add me back on WeChat. Days went by with no movement. Just when I was about to forget the whole thing, Emily landed me a script. She called me, thrilled. This one's perfect. The male lead confesses chickens out, then starts avoiding the girl. And because of that, the girl starts noticing him and ends up liking him back. Oh, come on. Didn't this sound a little too familiar? Don't tell me Jason wrote it himself. The more she described, the fishier it sounded. I finally asked, who's playing the male lead? Emily got even more excited. It's Jason. The answer was unexpected, yet made perfect sense. What surprised me more was her attitude. Weren't you the one telling me to stay away from him? This is different. Everyone knows Jason has a killer eye for scripts. Either it's a massive hit or it wins rave reviews. If you take this role, you're guaranteed to blow up. Emily was already painting pictures of my glamorous life after I made it big. Not long after we signed the contract, the show's official account dropped the announcement. What I didn't expect was that the second female lead would be Jennifer. The day before filming, the director set up a dinner for the main cast. When I walked in, the room was full, with only the seat next to Jason left. He glanced at me, looking guilty, and quickly sipped his water. I hesitated, then walked over to sit beside him. The director grinned. "Our leads sitting together now. That's the perfect match." Jason's lips curved into a smile before he turned to check my reaction. Seeing I wasn't bothered, he grinned even wider. I hadn't worked with anyone at that table before, yet I felt eyes on me the whole time. When I finally looked up, I caught Jennifer hastily looking away. She didn't look like she'd been caught, more like someone awkward in front of their idol. In a flash, I realized she wasn't watching me. She was watching Jason. The director kept hyping up the show's bright future, and since I couldn't get a word in, I just kept eating. Big table, yet somehow every dish that turned to me was one I loved. I turned to glance at Jason. He noticed and quickly pulled his hand back from the lazy Susan, pretending nothing happened. I smiled but said nothing. As dinner neared the end, Jason looked more and more tense, like he had unfinished business. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw him signal to the director. At first, the director didn't get it. Then his eyes flicked to me, and suddenly he lit up. "Since we're all part of the same crew now, let's exchange WeChat contacts." Jason sat ramrod straight, even more nervous. Then, quietly, he pulled out his phone and set it right next to me. So close it might as well have been in my pocket. So that was it. After all these days of silence, he hadn't dared ask me directly, so he came up with this little trick. Honestly, kinda cute. I smiled, took out my phone, and toyed with it without saying a word to him. After 3 minutes, he couldn't take it anymore. Just as he was about to speak, Jennifer walked toward us. I leaned away, deliberately making space for them to chat. But instead, Jennifer stopped in front of me, holding out her phone nervously. "Ms. Isabel, could I add your WeChat?" Huh? That was not the direction I expected. I looked up, startled, and blurted out in confusion. "Weren't you trying to add Jason?" She glanced at him, then said, "I used to be a solo fan, but now I'm a CP fan. I'd rather add you." A solo fan turned shipper? She'd been my fan? Still reeling, I took out my phone, and she left beaming, which left only a stunned me and Jason, green with jealousy. He stared at my phone screen before finally blurting out, "Can I add you back on WeChat?" I came to my senses, met his hopeful eyes, and smiled. "Of course you can." His eyes lit up, but the light dimmed a little. "First, you have to tell me when you added me the first time. Was that excuse about grabbing the wrong bag real?" Jason immediately grew serious. "Of course it was." Then, looking a little guilty, he admitted, "But I realized right away you hadn't mixed up the bags. I just didn't say anything. I thought, well, if fate hands me an opportunity, I should grab it. And then you turned around and deleted me." Jason clammed up, then finally muttered, "I figured you must have been embarrassed, so I didn't want to make it harder on you." "And you weren't embarrassed?" He shook his head. "Just sad." Fighting down my racing heart, I opened my phone and held it out. He looked up at me, and I smiled. "Don't delete me this time." His hand trembled as he scanned my code, and I hit accept. Then I watched with my own eyes as he changed my remark name to 2 hearts and pinned me to the top. My lips parted, but I couldn't find words. Thank God I had morals otherwise. With Jason like this, I could scam 10 of him. When Emily came to pick me up afterward, I was waiting outside when Jennifer bounded over, practically buzzing. "Ms. Isabel, are you and Jason together?" "Huh?" "The way you two sat together, whispering and smiling, it's sweeter than any ship I've ever followed." As a CP fan myself, I understood her feelings. But this time, the ship was me. Seeing my silence, she pressed on. "If I'm not wrong, the one Jason confessed to was you, wasn't it?" I stared at her in shock. How do you know? I've been your fan forever. I study every picture you post. The second I saw that profile pic in his chat log, I thought of you. You'd once posted a very similar shot in the fan group. Same angle, same style. Even though it was just a landscape, I spotted your favorite hat in the frame. I knew it had to be you. Listening to her, I suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of satisfaction. Funny thing is, I'd only meant to post a similar pic on my alt, but I screwed up and posted it on my main instead. Jennifer gave an awkward smile. I laughed too, then softened my tone. So what made you switch to a CP fan? Jennifer's eyes lit up. Once I saw someone liked you, I had to check him out. I tracked Jason's main and dug through every clue until I found his alt. And I was floored. His alt is crammed with posts about you, every moment of his feelings for you recorded. If I didn't know better, I'd think you two had been in love for years. This kind of heavenly ship? Of course I'm gonna stan it. The wind brushed my face, clearing my head for a moment, but I still couldn't tell dream from reality. Jennifer leaned closer and whispered, Miss Isabel, want me to send you Jason's alt? Don't rush to accept him yet. I love the ambiguous stage. Jason, thanks a lot. In the end, I asked Jennifer for Jason's alt anyway. Gossip was my only hobby, and this gossip was about me. His most recent post was from the day of his confession. Gonna confess today. If it works, call me Pleasant Goat. If it fails, call me Big Bad Wolf. I glanced at his username, Shijilang. Okay, he knew how to pick a handle. Scrolling back, every single post was about me. He hadn't missed a single one of my dramas or variety shows. His very first post on that alt was from the day he got my WeChat. Is this the start of our story? Later, after his confession failed, he commented under it, didn't even start before it ended. Heartbroken, Shizilang. A month ago, if someone had told me this was Jason, I would have had him checked into a psych ward to see if he'd lost his mind. In just 30 days, the cool, cocky bad boy image I'd had of him had completely collapsed. I instantly exited and scrolled through his main account, pulled up a few of his handsome photos just to recalibrate. Feeling satisfied, I went to bed. Next morning, same story, 10 missed calls from Emily. I thought, here we go again. Jason must have posted something wild. I opened Weibo and froze. Good news, Jason hadn't done anything. Bad news, I was screwed. Last night, I'd accidentally liked one of his posts. And not just any post, a shirtless ab shot. So Isabel was up at midnight drooling over Jason's abs? So what? I drool too. Who doesn't? The man's face and body are insane. I can already picture Isabel's goofy smile, same as mine. Isn't this just clout chasing? Nah, she's just a girl who likes looking at hot guys' abs. What's wrong with that? Thanks to everyone defending me, but they made me sound like some kind of simp. Still, that wasn't the real problem. The real problem was, what if Jason saw the trending topic? I didn't even dare imagine the social death. We'd only just re-added each other yesterday. Was it too late to delete him again? I spent ages explaining to Emily, planning to say it was an accident, but that excuse was so overused it felt lame. Finally, I posted, lesson learned: if you're gonna stare at hot guys, use your alt. Having steeled myself, I marched into the opening ceremony like a soldier to the gallows. The moment Jason saw me, he couldn't hold back a grin, his cheeks even a little flushed. I turned away, only to catch Jennifer off to the side, giddy beyond reason. This set was already unbearable. And of course, just my luck. The scene we were filming that day was the heroine catching a glimpse of the hero's abs. Fate sure loved messing with me. Before we started, the director murmured to his AD, Jason's in good shape. Clearly works out. I wasn't really paying attention until my name came up. Isabel. Wouldn't you agree? The director shot me a knowing look. Everyone's internet speed was blazing. Yesterday's blunder was today's running joke. I forced a weak smile. Right then, Jason walked out of the dressing room. His shirt half-buttoned, water dripping from his hair down over his collarbone, abs flashing under the fabric. One glance, and I could feel the heat rising to my face. I kept chanting in my head, "I'm a professional actress. I'm a professional actress." During rehearsal, neither of us was in the zone. Couldn't even meet each other's eyes. The director didn't scold us, just chuckled. Youth really is something. When the cameras rolled, Jason's gaze flipped in an instant, predatory, charismatic, his old bad boy persona back in full force. I pulled myself out of reality and into the role. He suddenly yanked me into his arms, delivered his cocky lines, ears burning red. Who could resist that contrast? Not me. The director called cut, satisfied with the very first take. But Jason, who'd been relaxed just a second ago, instantly tensed up. He let go, fumbling to button his shirt. During break, I sat flipping through my script. Jason hovered forever before finally sitting down next to me. He hesitated again, then blurted, "Was that like a misclick? The like yesterday?" He'd held it in long enough. I kept flipping pages. Nope. Then why? Because I liked it. That fastball hit Jason square in the chest. He froze. I closed the script, looked at him. I liked that photo. I liked the body in that photo. Jason waited, but nothing more came. His Adam's apple bobbed. "And the person in the photo?" he rasped. "The person? Well, someone told me not to rush answering him." Jason frowned, tone dark. "Who said that?" I thought a moment. "The CP fan ringleader. Jennifer had been haunting set whenever she wasn't filming, claiming she was learning from me. Really, she just wanted to ship us in person." Jason fell silent, completely lost for words. "So what does the actual person involved think?" I stood with my script. "Depends on how the other person performs." After that, Jason really did start performing. He even followed a bunch of dating coaches with his ult, diligently applying their advice to chasing me. I had no words. I mean, what dating coach tells you to woo a girl by gifting her a jigsaw puzzle of Along the River during the Qing Ming festival? Jason, you learned all the wrong lessons. A few days later came the year-end red carpet. Jason and I walked separately because we each had shows airing. Inside, several people sat between us, no chance to interact. But when I went on stage to accept my award, his eyes never left me. I avoided looking back. Fans' eyes were sharper than microscopes. The ceremony ended uneventfully for me. But Jason trended again. Fans caught him snapping photos during my speech. Since there were a few other actresses on stage with me, the guessing game began. So Jason's mystery crush is one of these 5. This is thrilling. I feel like Conan. Wait, am I slow? Wasn't it Jennifer? Jennifer was obviously clout chasing. Hold on. Didn't Jason mumble something when he took the pic? "Can anyone lip read?" "Lip reading expert here," he said. "So beautiful." I checked the clip. Sure enough, he did. I always said fans' eyes were microscopes. Case closed. Then Isabel's the prettiest one up there. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Doesn't matter if we think so. Only if Jason does. Who is it? I'm scratching my head. Can't sleep tonight. The funniest part is none of those women even looked at Jason. This is pure one-sided love. I hadn't even finished scrolling when Jennifer sent me a voice note. I know exactly who Jason was filming. It was you. Sitting on this secret is killing me. And he said, "So beautiful. Oh my God. This is the sweetest thing ever. So when are you two getting together? Weren't you the one who said don't rush to accept him? That the ambiguous stage is the best part?" I take it back. I want you two married tomorrow. I'm sitting at the head table. The fans dug and dug, but still couldn't pin down who it was. In the end, the whole thing fizzled out. 2 months after the red carpet, we were finally filming the wrap-up scenes, the last one being the wedding. I stepped out of the dressing room in my wedding dress, while Jason was fixing his tie. The moment he saw me, his hands froze, and in his eyes flickered a flash of awe and longing. He stared so long the director couldn't stand it anymore. He clapped Jason on the shoulder. "If you look like that now, what are you gonna do when it's the actual wedding scene? Tell me, can you do this or not? The show's about to wrap, and you still haven't won her over." Jason turned his gaze to the sunlight outside and murmured, "Soon." When cameras rolled, the only person more excited than Jason was Jennifer. God knows where she got that huge telephoto lens, but she went full fangirl, snapping away at us, muttering, "When I'm rich, I'm gonna invest in a drama just so you two can act out every storyline I like." My first time filming a wedding, I was nervous. We NG'd a few takes before I found the rhythm. Jason began reading the vows, and from the very first line, something felt off. They weren't the scripted lines at all. He wasn't reciting. He was speaking straight from the heart, listening. My eyes grew wet until I finally couldn't help myself. I threw my arms around him. Only afterward did I realize the script never called for that. Damn it. Fooled by his stupid face again. The director didn't yell cut, though. He thought our improvisation was brilliant. Watching him and Jennifer both beaming like doting aunties, I fell into silence. This crew was doomed. Everyone was just shipping us. At the wrap party, I downed a few bottles. Not drunk, but lightheaded enough to think about finally talking to Jason. What I didn't expect was that he'd drunk even more, so much he didn't recognize anyone anymore. After the party, I called his manager to pick him up. But while I was on the phone, he disappeared, panic rising. I searched until I found him outside. At that moment, he was holding onto a dog, talking to it. "Is it you? Are you the CP fan ringleader? What kind of CP fan are you, blocking my romance?" "Jennifer, have some manners, please." The poor dog's face was pure misery, like it had endured this rant forever. Truly, it suffered. I hurried over and pried Jason off, freeing the dog. It bolted, but not before barking twice at him. Whatever it said, I swear it was profanity. Jason stared at me in disbelief. "Oh my God, the dog can walk." Mistaking people for dogs and dogs for people only, Jason. I took a deep breath, swallowed my frustration, dragged him to the curb, and texted his manager again. If he didn't show up soon, I wasn't sure what creature Jason would mistake me for next. Jason clutched me like I was the dog, his voice breaking. "Brother dog, tell me, how can I win her over?" His arm squeezed tighter, so tight I could barely breathe. I finally snapped. "Jason, if you don't let go, you'll never have a girlfriend." He shoved me back, staring at me in horror. Was that a hallucination? Did the dog just talk? Then he laughed. "I get it. Dogs can't talk, but I can understand them. That means I'm a dog. Ha ha ha, I'm a dog." Not even the gods could cure him now. After a while of raving, he slumped, face downcast. "Does Isabel like dogs? If I turn into one, will she still like me?" For the record, no, absolutely not. Isabel's amazing. She's got me thinking about her every single day. With that, Jason stopped fussing, just sat obediently on the curb. Under the streetlight, I leaned against his shoulder. By morning, he woke up, with no memory at all of the night before. He asked, nervously. And I told him the truth. "Nothing, really. You just treated me like a brother. So, you want to be brothers with me?" Jason panicked and immediately video called me. When I picked up, he rushed to explain he'd been drunk and spouting nonsense, begging me not to believe it. Seeing me unmoved, he finally broke down. Last night, I was planning to use the liquid courage to confess, but I overdid it and blew it. Only then did I speak. "Jason, technically, last night should have been our first day together." He froze for ages before whispering. "What did you say?" "I was planning to say yes last night, but you were too drunk to recognize me. To be exact, not that he didn't recognize me, but that he didn't recognize humans at all." His Adam's apple bobbed nervously. "So, what about now?" "Now?" I smiled. "Now's our very first second together." After we got together, Jason wanted to shout it from the rooftops. Coincidentally, so did Jennifer. She called it the Mount Everest of her shipping career. Jason grinned at me all day. Jennifer grinned at Jason, grinning at me, and then the fans caught on. Ridiculous as it was, Jennifer had asked Jason for that photo he'd snapped, then used it as her profile pic, posting in the ship's forum daily. Eagle-eyed fans compared the seating layout from that night and deduced the photo had to have been taken by Jason. From there, they unraveled more and more details. Right back to our first meeting with the mixed-up bags. The verdict. I was the one Jason had confessed to. After talking it over, Jason and I decided to go public. Perfect timing, too. The drama aired and rode the wave of buzz. Jason didn't care about ratings at all. He only cared how many new fans joined our CP forum every day. I asked him why he'd like me in the first place. He thought a long while, then said, "Do you believe in love at first sight?" I shook my head. He leaned in and kissed me. "Well, you can believe it now. From strangers to soulmates, though our meeting was fresh. The bond already ran deep.